Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we're starting a new reading vlog. This is gonna be my Egypt vlog. I am going away on holiday tomorrow. Today is currently Wednesday the 25th of June. I go away Thursday the 26th. And I thought I would start this vlog a little bit early because this morning we're going to be going on the hunt. I need to get a couple of bits. We've got a handful of bits we still need to get as far as toiletries are concerned. We need to get some toothpaste and stuff like that. And then I do need to get some more underwear and some more socks. And I thought that we could nip into Wigan. And I want to see if I can get my hands on the Works edition of Nightshade by Autumn Woods. It appears that it's already out. It's not supposed to be coming out till tomorrow, but it appears that it's already out. So I wanted to see if before I go on my hollybobs and miss out on the opportunity to get this edition, I wanted to see, try and show a picture of it here on screen just in case I don't end up managing to get one. I thought that we would nip into Wigan and see if I'm able to get my hands on a copy. So here's to keeping my fingers crossed and manifesting that that will happen. So we're going to go and do that. There's some bits I need to get anyway. I probably could have got them from the supermarket rather than having to go all the way into Wigan. But alas, we're going to do that anyway. I did try and talk myself out of it this morning, but I do think I will be devastated if I didn't even try to get one. If I go and it's not there, that's it. I'm probably not going to end up with one. So yeah, we need to pack our suitcases as well once we get back. So we're going to, Andy's just out getting his hair cut. He's been out now for, I don't know actually, I think he's been out for a little while. He came upstairs about 7:30. It's now 10:20. So he's probably been out like an hour and 45 minutes or so. I don't know how long it's taken to get his hair cut. It's a school day, it shouldn't be that busy. Anyway, so he's going to get his hair cut, and then we need to nip into Wigan, and then we need to pack the cases when we come back. This evening we're going to go out for some tea. We have done our very best to empty the freezer. Speaking of, I need to defrost that. It needs defrosting anyway, so this was a good opportunity to do it. So I need to get the last little bits out of there and defrost it, but we've been emptying the freezer slowly but surely over the last week and a half. We've done a really good job with it. So we've no food in at all. We've got tinned goods, but they will last obviously, but we've no fresh food in whatsoever. So we're going to go out for tea tonight. It's easier, there's no pots left then, so it's all good. We'll just hand wash anything else that we use today, and that's good to go. I did the washing last night when I got in from work, so that is all hanging up, getting dry as we speak, so hopefully should be okay to pack later on. And yeah, I did all the tidying earlier on this week, so I don't need to do that. And I think we'll be good to go. So I did want to show you what I'm planning on taking with me in the suitcase, as far as books are concerned in the suitcase. Actually, these are going to go in my hand luggage. But I did want to show you what I'm planning on taking for reading. So I'm just going to take 2 physical books, I think. So that Nightshade copy, I'm not even taking with me. I have it on my Kindle. But I want that copy because it's stunning, you know, but I'm not going to take it with me. I don't want to risk ruining it. So on the plane going, so by the time I even land in Egypt, my aim is to have this book finished. It's a little bit frustrating, to be honest, that I don't have this on my Kindle, but alas, it'll be good for the vlog as far as visuals are concerned. But I'm taking Sky Daddy by Kate Falk with me. I think this will be a really good one to read on the plane. It's about a woman who's in love with planes. She's obsessed with like the fuselages and all of that shit, and her intention, her goal essentially is that she will believes her destiny is to someday marry one of her suitors by dying in a plane crash. So when her co-worker Karina invites her to join a group of women using vision boards to manifest their desires, she can't resist a chance to hasten her romantic fate. However, as the vision boards seem to manifest items more quickly and more literally than Linda had expected, the carefully balanced elements of her life begin to spin out of control, and she must choose between maintaining the trappings of normalcy or launching herself headlong towards her greatest dream. I think this will be really fun to read actually while on the plane. I have mentioned this previously, I think, when I hauled it, And somebody commented saying that they did exactly that, and it just heightened her emotions entirely for this book. So very excited about that situation. So I'm taking that with me. And then the other one that I am taking with me is The Jasad Air by Sarah Hashem. This one is an Egyptian inspired romantasy, I believe. And I've heard incredible things. An unmissable tale of shattered kingdoms, forbidden magic, and cunning royals unfold in this Egyptian inspired epic fantasy debut. Oh, it's epic fantasy. We'll have to see if this one works for me. I'm not really in my epic fantasy era, but if there's like a romantic element, maybe I'll be okay. Maybe the fact that it's Egyptian inspired as well while I'm in Egypt. So I do have this one on my Kindle, but I feel like I need to take this with me because of, you know, again, the visuals. I'm thinking the Instagram posts, it's terrible. I know I could be taking other physical books with me that I don't have on my Kindle that I could read, but alas, I'm going to take this with me because I think it'll be stunning for an Instagram picture in Egypt. I feel like I'll kick myself if I leave this at home just because it's on my Kindle, because I could take an Instagram picture with it. I'm also taking my bookmark with me that I got last time I went to Egypt. It's a Sagittarius bookmark, so I'm taking that with me as well because I feel like I've put a new tassel on it because my other one disintegrated because I've had it for so long. I was probably like 15, maybe 14 when I last went to Egypt, so, you know, 20 years ago. Oh, ew, don't like that. And then my Kindle is absolutely stacked with books as well. I am currently reading Diabound, but I may pause that until I get back from my Hollybobs. I was going to take Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, but I'm truly not in the mood. So I have the audiobook on BookBeat, so instead of taking the physical with me as well, if I decide that I want to read it when I get there, I can listen to the audiobook. I don't actually need the physical copy with me, so to save space I'm not taking that one. It sounds like Andy's just got back, so I'm gonna go, but I will check back in with you later, maybe show you some of our packing and stuff like that. So I'll check in with you in a little bit. Let's go see if we can find that book.
I don't wanna let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay even when you wanna walk away? When times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't wanna let you down. My story, it's the only thing I figured out. Cause everything else in my life without you would be boring. And we'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. I don't wanna let you down. Even when you wanna walk away, when times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't wanna let you down.
Okay, hello team. It has been a few days. Imagine I went on holiday and I've been texting, leaving pictures and stuff like that on Instagram, but then forgot to ring. And this is now FaceTime. It's Monday. We've been here since Thursday evening. My apologies if you can hear the AC. Actually, I don't apologise at all. It's very hot. We've been here since Thursday evening, and I just kept forgetting to update you, in all honesty. We've been quite busy since we got here. We had a chill day. Actually, it turned out not to be quite so much a chill day. We ended up having a massage. Andy got his hair done. Don't ask. Andy got braids in his hair, and it turned out to be quite a busy day, to be fair. We didn't get quite the chill day we thought. The massage was incredible though, very much so worth it. And then Saturday we went on a boat trip to an island, and I have severe seasickness, so I wasn't too bad going. It was hot as anything on the beach. The beach was stunning, absolutely beautiful, but it was hot as anything. I did go in the sea for a little bit. We had a little look-see at the coral and stuff. Andy found a jellyfish, and we saw some other fish and some, what were the crabs called? Hermit crabs. Very, very cute. So that was fun. And then he went on like a submarine thing to go and see some of the fish in the sea. Like it's a glass bottom. Yeah, a glass bottom on this boat thing. So I didn't go on that, which was a good shower, he said, because it was very rocky. So I literally just slept on this cabana for pretty much most of the day. It was very, very hot, and I was struggling to regulate my core temperature. So he went out and did a couple of bits, and then we got back on the boat, and then I fell asleep again on the boat, trying very, very hard not to be ill. And he went out to do a little bit of snorkeling and had a very fun time. And then we got back into it wasn't really a marina, but where the boat was docking, and I was very unwell. So I waited till the very end of the trip. But yeah, otherwise, lovely day, and the beach was absolutely stunning. So then yesterday, yeah, that was Saturday. Yesterday was Sunday. We had a very chill day by the pool. It was actually glorious. I think I just needed to get it out of my system. Like, I'd just completely overheated. I needed to get it out of my system. Yesterday was glorious. I chased the shade for the whole day on my sunbed, and I was in and out of the pool a little bit, not too much. Andy spent most of the day in the pool. I did a whole bunch of reading, finished a book, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And then today we have been quad biking this morning in the desert, which was quite an experience. It was amazing, actually. Very, very hot, very hot. I'm glad we did it in the morning, not in the afternoon. It was really, really hot, but it was quite the experience. You got the opportunity to go on a camel. I've done it years ago when I've come to Egypt, and Andy had no interest in doing it. I think he's done it in Turkey, so he had no interest in doing it. And then we quad biked back. It was like 40 minutes on the quad. It felt like forever, I'm not gonna lie, but it was very hot, but it was very, very an amazing experience, to be honest. Then we kind of just came back to the room, had to shower because we were covered in dust, and just kind of chilled in the room. We needed the AC. We were absolutely dripping in the Jeep on the way back from quad biking. We were like literally dripping. So we had showers, came back to the room. I've done some more reading today. He's watched a couple of movies. We had a little siesta. We've just been out for some tea, and now we're back in the room again. So that's got you all caught up on what's been going on. As far as reading is concerned, I did start Sky Daddy by Kate Falk on the plane. I didn't finish it, but I did get to page 231. This is quite the bizarre read. I think if I wasn't finding it so weird, I would have probably been able to finish it while I was on the plane, but I was finding that it was quite difficult to concentrate. I was getting a little bit of a tension headache with the my brain has stopped working now that I've updated you on all of that, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so this is a weird one. This is following Linda. She is a content moderator flagging comments that violate tech conglomerates' terms and conditions. Each night she returns to the windowless room in a garage that she rents from a family who pretend she isn't there. But once a month she escapes to San Francisco International Airport for a clandestine meeting on the cheapest flight out that night. Linda's secret is that she's sexually attracted to the planes. Their intellectual windscreens, sleek fuselages, why is that such a struggle of a word? Fuselages, and powerful engines that make her feel a way that no human lover ever could. Linda believes her destiny is to someday marry one of her suitors by dying in a plane crash. So when a co-worker, Karina, invites her to join a group of women using vision boards to manifest their desires, she can't resist a chance to hasten her romantic fate. However, as the vision boards seem to manifest items more quickly and more literally than Linda has expected, the carefully balanced elements of her life begin to spin out of her control, and she must choose between maintaining the trappings of normality or launching herself headlong towards her greatest dream. It's all very weird. She does take these flights every now and then, but what she thought it would be she's very aware of how weird weird this situation is. And because she thought it would be too weird to put on her romantic desires with planes on her mood board with these other people, she did put on that she wanted to like marry a pilot maybe, and things just kind of get out of hand a little bit from there. So yeah, I'm interested to get back to this one. I'm probably going to wait till we're back on the plane to continue on with this one. It is very, very bizarre though. I don't know what I'm going to rate this. It's really, really weird, and I think if I wasn't reading it solely for the whole plane vibe thing, I may have DNF'd it. I did have like 3 books that I wanted to read specifically for this Egypt vlog, and this is the only one that I'm actually reading out of the 3 of them, so it's another reason I'm not going to DNF it. So I am reading that. I haven't picked up Death on the Nile or the Jasad Air, my apologies. I haven't been reading a whole ton until yesterday. In fact, I don't think I touched anything after the plane, unless it was like a chapter here or there, until yesterday, in which I read pretty much a whole book. I was about 38 pages into this book and I read the whole thing last night. Actually, yesterday by the pool, and then last night. So the book in question is Drown by Holly Croco, I think. This is the 3rd in the Flower City series. I haven't read the other 2, but they can be read as interconnected standalone. So I am going to go back and read the other 2. So I got an arc of this one. It comes out on the 1st of July, so it'll be out by the time this video's up. There's a reason drowning is often considered silent death. Rick is a police lieutenant investigating the disappearance of 3 women. He's an arrogant, tattooed loner who's forced to rely on Jenny for help. The problem? She's an alcoholic and he's not sure she can be trusted. He also can't keep his hands off her. Jenny's battle with addiction started spiralling out of control years ago, and she has no interest in seeking help. While she maintains her life as a functioning alcoholic, Jenny is forced to work with Rick, allowing him access to the construction site she oversees, which is where the victims were found. The closer they get to cracking the case, the more they learn about each other and their demons. Their walls start to come down. But if there's one thing Rick knows, it's that he can't help someone who doesn't want to be saved. Will he be enough to make Jenny seek help, or will he have to let her hit rock bottom on her own? This one was so good. I was pretty much sobbing through like the last, I would say, 50 pages of this book last night. It was incredible. It was really messy, this relationship between Rick and Jenny. It starts off with them kind of meeting at a bar. Some guy's hitting on her at a bar. Rick notices it and he ends up going over and kind of saving the day, if you like. They have a moment in a bathroom and then bugger off. Don't expect to see each other again until these bodies start turning up on the construction site that Jenny oversees. So he ends up having to work very closely with her, and as mentioned, she's an alcoholic. She's a functioning alcoholic. She's very aware of it, and she has no intentions of changing it at all. She's got a very stable family, some great brothers around her, some nephews, and she has a really stable family. So there's no real reason behind it, but she's, she just gets on with life, and she's just a functioning alcoholic. It is what it is. So we've obviously got the situation in the background with the 3 women who have gone missing, and some of the bodies are turning up on this construction site. We've got the situation with Jenny being a functioning alcoholic. We've got Rick, who is a lieutenant, and he's got something going on in the background as well with his mum. And then the relationship starts, and it's just very messy, very interesting to kind of see. Incredibly messy though, incredibly messy, and they're both very aware of that. They both know that it's probably going to end up in hurt between the both of them. And yeah, it was an incredibly touching book, I would say. Like I said, I was sobbing for like the last 50 pages. It was so good. Love the writing style. Definitely want to go back and read the previous 2 in this series. There is a little bit of like an epilogue that you can download, and I'm currently making my way through that as well. I'm about 30% into that, because there isn't a definitive necessarily happily ever after at the end of this book, so there is like a little bit of an epilogue that you can read that's like set many years later. So I am currently making my way through that. Gave that one 5 stars. Loved it. It was so good. I think the only thing that bothered me was the fact that Rick kept calling her Jennifer. I don't know if he was doing it on purpose because it pissed her off, but he continued to do it as we moved through the book, and the relationship continued to evolve, and it was driving me nuts because she went by Jenny. So it was driving me a little bit mad. I just couldn't fathom someone constantly calling me Stephanie all the time. It would drive me fucking insane. What else am I reading? I'm also making my way through Nightshade. by Autumn Woods. So I am currently on a read along for this with Book Break, and I am on page 204. I've smashed my way through like 100 and odd pages today. I was on page 65 before I started reading this today, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know what the actual synopsis is of this. Can I find it quick enough to let you know? Okay, so this is book 1 of a duet. This is a really long synopsis. What's the need? When Ophelia Winters accepts a scholarship at a prestigious Scottish university to prove that her parents' death was the fault of Kane Green, an American aviation tycoon, her plan is simple: keep her grades up and her head down. The last thing she wants is to wind up in a mafia war or step on the toes of royalty. Her plan gets off to a rocky start when the mysterious man that almost kills her on the first day turns out to be Kane's eldest son. As far as she's concerned, Alex Corbo Green is a much younger version of his billionaire father, a monster hiding beneath a beautiful facade. Loneliness has been Ophelia's only dependable companion for years, but when anonymous threats and mysterious occurrences start to haunt her time at Sorrow Song, she wonders if she can really survive there on her own. Between being paired together for a project and ending up as each other's alibis for a murder, avoiding Alex becomes increasingly impossible. She begins to fall for the soft heart that hides beneath his hard exterior. Tormented by a malicious stalker or growing closer to Alex, Ophelia's desperation for revenge wavers for the first time. Can she really bring herself to pull the trigger on Kane now that she knows the family is... now she knows the family, it'll split into two. So this is dark academia romance, enemies to lovers, slow burn university setting, and so far I'm really enjoying it. Loving the setting, very much giving all of the vibes. Really loving the setting, really enjoying Ophelia's character and Alex's as well. It's done with duet narration, which is fun too, on the audiobook. And I'm really enjoying it so far. The stalker element to it I thought might bother me more than it is, but it's not bothering me too much. She's getting emails, she's having, things left in her room, if I remember correctly, but she's having emails. I'm getting confused because I'm reading Grave Matter as well by Karina Hall, and I'm going to wait to go back to that till I finish Nightshade, which I'm going to try and do this evening, because I'm getting confused between the two, because she's also got a bit of a stalker, and it's also a dark academia setting on a bit of an island, so, confusions settling, but really enjoying this one, having a good time with it so far. Like I say, enjoying Ophelia and Alex's characters. I do have someone in mind for the stalker, but I think it's too obvious, and I think I'm entirely wrong for it with it, but we've just had quite the sinister turn in the situation, so I'm eager to get back to it. I'm very keen to get back to it, and I'm really enjoying it so far. So yeah, I'm reading that one as well. Am I reading anything else other than Grave Matter? I'm like partway through like 4 different books that I was actively reading before I went on holiday, and I've kind of shelved 2 of them, which were Diabound and King of Hearts, for while I'm on holiday. I'll get back to them when I get back after Summerween probably. So yeah, Nightshade and Grave Matter are the other 2. Once I finish Nightshade, I think I might move on to maybe a thriller or a romance. We'll see, because these like dark romances, so yeah, we'll see. But so far, that's what's going on. I'm not in the mood right now to pick up like the Jasad Air, so I'm not doing that. I don't want to ruin that book by picking it up while I'm not in the mood, forcing myself to read it just because I'm in Egypt. So yeah, but that's my very long update as to why I've been MIA and what we've been up to. Hopefully I will do better to update you on the daily from here on out. We'll see what happens. But yeah, pretty happy with the progress I'm making so far on reading. I was worried for the first few days, which is probably another reason why I didn't come on and update you, to be honest, because I just wasn't reading anything other than what I'd read on the plane, and maybe a chapter here with Diabound and a chapter there with, I don't know, Drown, I think it was. I just wasn't actively picking anything up for a long period of time. I was trying to acclimatise. I think that was the problem. It's like 35 to 37 degrees here on the daily, and then like 31 in the evening. It's incredibly hot. So again, I make no apologies if you've heard the AC this whole time. So I'm going to go and get some more reading done and get myself ready for bed, and I will probably check in with you tomorrow, give you an update on Nightshade if I've finished it. I'll probably wait until I've finished it before I come back and update you actually, and then I can give you a rundown of what Grave Matter is about, and if I pick another romance up or a thriller, I will let you know what that is about also. But yeah, so I'll check in with you then. Okay, hello. We're going to have to make this quick. It's currently 35 degrees. I'm boiling. It's 5:15 on Tuesday evening, the day after I spoke to you yesterday. Look at me go. And I think I'm gradually going red in the face because it's so hot out here. I have finished another 2 books since I last spoke to you. So, what did I finish last night? Nightshade, which was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed this. I loved the writing style. That atmosphere was very dark and eerie, and I loved the characters. And I had a really good time with it. I loved how it ended. Actually, the ending had me a little bit frustrated because I just immediately want the second book. And that's the only reason why it left me a bit frustrated. But I had a very good time with it, and I really enjoyed myself. I gave this one 4.5 stars. Had a very good time. And then this morning I started Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies by Catherine Mack. And I got about 21% into it. And it's not that I wasn't enjoying it. I just don't know if I care. It was a little bit repetitive. So I don't know if I'm going to come back to that. We'll see. So I did a poll on Instagram at the time when I was getting ready to then move on to another book. Went for a little swim, then came out and I was ready to pick something else up. I asked 2 questions. So the first poll was for whether or not I should continue on with Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies or pick up Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, or read a thriller. And then the second poll was which thriller should I pick up. So I had The Thrashers by Julie Soto, which is very new. I had The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, and I had something else on. I'll have shown the polls here as we go through. So at the time when I was ready to start reading again, this has changed now, but at the time when I was ready to start reading again, it was very close between Death on the Nile and Read a Thriller. It is now Death on the Nile if I was to go on and look. So I did end up picking up a thriller because that one was in the lead, and The Boyfriend was the one that was picked. So I have read that. It was very quick, I will say that, but it was also trash. The prologue had me invested. I very invested immediately. It was literally like a page or a page and a half. I was very invested immediately, and then by like the 52% mark I wanted to DNF, but I'd already gotten to that point and I was like, I might as well finish off and see how it wraps up. It was a waste of my time. I gave it 1 star. This was so boring. We follow, let me just double check what's in the synopsis so I don't spoil anything, but we follow our main character, whose name I've already forgotten because she was so fucking one-dimensional. To be honest, I hate the way Frida McFadden writes her characters. They're so boring. Sydney. So following Sydney, who's like not a serial dater, I wouldn't say. Her friend Bonnie is more of a serial dater, but she goes on dates. She's like super desperate for a husband and to have kids and to settle down and all of that stuff. I'm really sorry, I don't know how much background noise there is. I'm really hoping that all you can hear is me, but we'll see. So she's going on these dates, and we start off with her on this date with this guy called Kevin, and he's a complete fucking douchebag. Literally red flags everywhere. Sydney is the most dumb character I've ever come across in my life. She cannot see a red flag when it's waved right in front of her face, honest to God. So we're following her, and then she meets this guy who is like the most perfect boyfriend ever on the planet, and he's handsome, he's charming, he's a doctor, etc, etc, but there is a brutal murder and of a woman, and it ends up opening up a case of a serial killer. Inevitably is what happens. And other than that, I don't want to tell you much more. We do get 2 perspectives in this book. So we get Sydney's, and then we get flashbacks to another character when they were 16 years old, and it kind of builds the story up, and then they cross over at the end. It was so dumb. I didn't see the twists coming at the end, did not see them, but I was just so fucking bored. The twists were quite clever, to be honest, but the ending of the book as a whole, so stupid. I was just really frustrated that I'd actually wasted my time reading this, to be perfectly honest. I could have carried on with Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies, or I could have picked something else up. So anyway, I read that, I gave it 1 star. It was stupid, didn't like it. I'm not convinced I'm ever going to find a Frida McFadden book that I enjoy more than The Housemaid, actually. I haven't continued on with that series. I don't think it needed to be a series. But I don't know if I'm ever going to find a Frida McFadden book that I enjoy more than that. And then another book that I did start last night and then ended up kind of forgoing because I was interested in picking up a mystery or a thriller today, which is what I've ended up doing. But have come back to this one now, is Delicate Escape by Catherine Cowles, which is the second in Sparrow Falls series, and I'm currently on page 59 of that, 18% in. This one is following Thea and also Shep. We meet Shep in book 1 because he is Rhodes' brother, adopted brother, or foster brother, whatever he is, and he is a guy that owns a building company. Thea, however, appears to be on the run. She's kind of hiding out in Sparrow Falls from a very bad domestic situation that she was in previously. So I wish she would stop doing that. What is the matter? Just get their attention. So I don't know what the actual synopsis of this is. I'm trying to be quick because it's really hot out here and the camera's right in the sun and I don't want it to cause any problems. Okay, trust doesn't come easily when you've been running for as long as I have, which is why moving in with a man I barely know is such a bad idea. Shep Coulson is all golden boy charm and devastating good looks, but I know what it's like to be taken in by easy smiles and the promise of forever. I have the scars to prove it. Only the handsome contractor won't stop coming by the bakery and prying little truths from my lips. Those amber eyes of his seeing far too much, and when all the secrets come crashing down, he's determined to keep me safe, even if it means moving into my rundown cabin to do it. Now, Shep isn't just rebuilding the walls of my home, he's working his way into my heart. Suddenly he's everywhere, shirtless in my garden or in a towel coming out of my bathroom, and my resolve is no match. Only it's more than his golden looks, it's him. The way he watches for my wounds, but tells me I'm stronger than anyone he's ever known, and I can't help but fall. But I should have known better than to think I could be happy, not when a ghost from my past still has me in his sights, and when he finds me, he'll do anything to tear my life apart, even if it means ending it for good. I do enjoy these. This is only the second one that I've got to in the series so far, but I do enjoy them. They are quite the romantic suspense, and to be honest, that's probably one of my favourite types of romance books to pick up. So enjoying it so far, having a good time, really enjoying both Thea and Shep's characters, and it's nice to see the other characters that we've met before as well, especially like Rhodes as well. It's nice to see her character again after everything that happened in her book, which was book 1. So yeah, having a good time so far. Flying through a couple of books. Still mad at myself for picking up The Boyfriend. I should not have done that. I should not have done that. I should have waited a little bit longer on that poll and picked up Death on the Nile instead. I might have enjoyed that a bit better. But anyway, regardless, I'm going to go because we'll be going to go down and get some food soon. We spent quite a bit of time in the room today because it's been really freaking hot. So we go out in the morning and go in the pool quite early on in the morning and then kind of come back to the room after lunch because it's so hot in the afternoon. A siesta is needed. So I'm going to go and I will check back in with you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get another chunk of Delicate Escapes done today. Great Big Beautiful Life was on the 99p Kindle deal, so I kind of want to get started on that. So we'll see how that goes because I'm still partway through Grave Matter and I should finish that as well. I also think I'm going to try and finish Sky Daddy by Kate Falk before we leave for the airport on Thursday. I'll either finish it tomorrow or on Thursday because it's a physical read. I don't want to carry the book on the plane with me. I just want to take my Kindle. So it may be a case of trying to finish that tomorrow and Delicate Escapes, and then on Thursday maybe starting Great Big Beautiful Life or something. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to go and I'll check in with you later. Okay, hello. Today is our last day. It is Thursday, and I'm not going to give you a full update on what I've been reading. I'll do it when I get home, but I just wanted to let you know that we are leaving the hotel today. It is currently about, nearly 5 o'clock, I think. We've just borrowed a room so we can come and have showers. We had to check out at 12, so we haven't had a room since then. Andy's just in the shower and I will be going in a second. So we've just kind of been sat around because our flight is an evening flight, a night flight. So we've been kind of sat around. We're being picked up at 6:45. So we've got about an hour and 45 minutes left. but we have been sat around since about 11:30, so it's been a very boring day, but I have been doing some reading. Today I've been reading Diddley Squat Till the Cows Come Home by Jeremy Clarkson, and I'm about 50% through that. Managed to get it on my Kindle. It's on 99p Kindle sale at the moment, so I was like, it's on my TBR, so I might as well try and get to it if it's on Kindle sale. So managed to get to that. I'm hoping to have that finished by the time we get home. And then I've also started Tell Me What You Did by Chris, whoever the heck it's by. I'll show it on screen. I've started that as well and listened to the audiobook for that because Diddley Squat is a physical read. So I'm switching between the two depending on my mood. I have finished a couple of books since I last spoke to you, but I can't remember what the last thing was I said. It might have been Slagging Off the Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, but I can't remember. I will give you a full update on everything that I read once I get home. But I just wanted to let you know that today is the day that we go home and what it is that I'm reading today. So that is all. I am now going to go in the shower because he has come out. So I will check in with you once we get home. Okay, hello. As you can see, I am back home. It is now Friday. It's currently 1:20. I have done 2 loads of washing. I've had a shower. I've been out and done a food shop. And I've put all of the holiday stuff away. We are unpacked entirely. So Andy's gone out to go and see his mum and go and see his friend and just do a couple of little bits, probably go and see the boys. We were going to go and see my parents and then Matt, Tara and the kids as well, but I feel horrendous, honestly. I look better than I feel, I will say. I would never say that about myself, but I look better than I feel. I am exhausted. We got home last night about 3:30 in the morning and I slept till about 8 o'clock, but it took me ages to nod off. I think we actually got in bed about 4:30-ish. So, I mean, it was light outside. It might have been more like 5. It was light outside. So, not had very much sleep. The 2 nights previous as well, I didn't sleep very well. And I didn't sleep on the plane. Actually, I barely read much on the plane because I had a funny turn. So, yay for me. My travel this holiday has not been great. I was ill on the boat, which is literally not a surprise at all. I have seasickness, severe seasickness. So not a surprise at all. When we went to the island, I was poorly. And then on the plane, everyone tends to get a little bit of a dicky tummy when they go on holiday, especially towards the end of the holiday. And I am naturally one of those people. I mean, I have IBS anyway, probably too much information. But regardless, we're all having a little chinwag here. We're all friends here, you know? If you're new here, welcome. No secrets here. So I have IBS anyway. So I've had a little bit of a dicky tummy for the last couple of days and I was in a middle seat and it was a night flight and Andy was at the window and the guy to the left of me started nodding off and I panicked. I had a panic attack because I was like, I have been up and down, up and down, up and down all day and I know I'm going to be the same on the plane and I can't keep waking this man up so I can go to the toilet. Anyway, I asked if there was any chance that there was an aisle seat or another, accessible seat that I could get out of without bothering anybody because I wasn't feeling particularly well. I sent myself into that much of a spiral. I actually thought I was going to be sick as well. I wasn't, thank God, but they let me sit in one of the stewardess seats. So I sat in one of those instead for about 3 hours. So fucking uncomfortable for a long period of time. So uncomfortable. Obviously, they only sit in them for like 15 minutes at takeoff and about 10 minutes at landing. So they don't sit in them for too long, but I was sat in it for like 3.5 hours because I just I wasn't confident in going back to my seat. So anyway, we are home. I've done a lot of stuff. I came home to quite a bit of book mail. So I thought we could quickly run through this before I run through with you exactly what it was that I read on this trip. We had a good time. It was incredibly warm. Not sure if we'd potentially go back, but we had a good time regardless. It was nice for a break. I am glad to be home though. I am very much so a homebody and I miss my home comforts. So the first book that I am going to mention is Nightshade by Autumn Woods. Obviously, I was trying to get my hands on this the day before we went away, so I did manage to get myself a copy. Andy did pay for this for me. I am a very lucky girl and I'm very happy that I've managed to get a copy of this one. So that can go in my to speak to you about books I've read pile. Then I also came home to my Afterlight edition of Love in Focus by Lila Lee. This is June's book. Yes, June's book. Stunning edges. This is beautiful under the dust jacket. I'm actually obsessed. Stunning under the dust jacket. This is a sapphic romance, I believe. And I'm very excited about giving it a read. So that's a stunner. And then I noticed the other day that people seemed to have their Feraloo Onyx Storm, and I did not. So I emailed them to say that mine appears not to have arrived. When was it shipped? Because it said shipped on my account, but I had had nothing to say that it had been shipped when or anything. So they said it appears, eventually they replied, it appears that it has been lost in transit, so we'll send you another one. So while I was away, that came in. Stunning. Very pretty indeed. I'm still on the fence about whether or not to continue on with this series, honestly, but I didn't want to obviously not get this edition because I have the other two. I do reverse my dust jackets on these as well. This dust jacket is stunning though, to be fair. I am very excited about it, and it is signed by Rebecca as well. So yeah, I'm undecided because I've heard not great things about this one. I gave Iron Flame in the end 4.5 stars, but it took me 14 months to read it. It didn't hit the same as, you know, Fourth Wing did, which I binged. So I don't know, I'm undecided what to do. I've got some time to make a decision because it's going to be ages before we get book 4. I'm fairly certain. She's not even started writing it, and I know she's writing a couple of contemporaries and taking the summer off to spend with her kids. So it's going to be at least 18 months, I think, before we get the 4th book. So I have some time to make a decision on that. Okay, next to come in was another pre-order, and it was Don't Let Him In by Lisa Jewell. I say another pre-order. Well, it kind of, Onyx Stone was a pre-order. This one was from Waterstones. It was a normal one, but I didn't know it was going to come signed. How exciting. I'm looking forward to giving this one a read. Unsure if I might be able to get to this for Summerween, but I feel like it could be a good one for Summerween, so maybe, we'll see. Chonker though. Very excited about that. And then this chonker pre-order, Shield of Sparrows by Devney Perry. This is my Patreon buddy read for July and August. Absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed. So pretty. It is the Waterstones exclusive. So under the dust jacket. End papers, stunners. No signature, I don't think, in this one. God, hasn't she done some work? No signatures in this one. There is a map though. How cute is that? And then again, end papers. This book though is only like 600 and odd pages. I say only. For some people that's a lot. 636 pages, including acknowledgements. Why does it look so large? That's what she said. If you compare it to, although this has got less pages in it, it's not by a great deal, I don't think. Oh, 527, so it's like 100 and odd pages less. Look at the size difference. Insane. Anyways, those are the books that I have hauled while I've been away. So, the books that I have read, I've been making a note of exactly what it is that I've read. We started the holiday off with Drown by Holly Croco, I think is the name of the author, which I did give 5 stars. I've already spoken to you about it, so I'm not going to go into depth with that one. And then I did move on to Nightshade, as mentioned, by Autumn Woods, which I did give 4.5 stars. I have already mentioned it, not going to go into too much detail. The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, I gave 1 star. I think that was the last thing that I told you other than the little update yesterday before we left the hotel. So The Boyfriend I gave 1 star. I think I gave you my full thoughts on that one. Didn't like it. Then I did move on to Delicate Escape by Catherine Cowles. This I gave 5 stars. This was absolutely fantastic. We are following Shep and we're also following Thea. Fairly certain she's called Thea, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Thea and Shep. And Shep is Rhodes's brother from book 1. So I really enjoyed book 1, actually, Fragile Sanctuary. Now, Rhodes and Shep are both part of this family in which Nora, the mother, I'm fairly certain that Fallon might be her only actual biological child, but she fosters and adopts a lot of kids. And Shep and Rhodes are two of those kids, but we have a lot of other siblings, which I assume we're going to follow throughout the series. So in this one, we are on with Shep and also Thea. Thea is running from a situation with an ex, and however, he is a very, very important person, let's say, and he's got his fingers in a lot of pies, and he can do a lot of damage, and he did do to her before she ran away. Now, she's been in Sparrow Falls for the last 2 years in hiding. She has no technology whatsoever. She's no mobile phone. She's no internet, no nothing. She's got like a million locks on her doors, and she lives very isolated. She works in the bakery as well as working in the garden centre with Rhodes, which is how she's become friends with Rhodes and how she now knows Shep. Shep runs one of the construction companies within town. He does have a rival construction company which comes in heavily with this one. And he ends up helping Thea out with a little bit of work, but they have kind of like him and Rhodes have kind of come to the conclusion that she's running away from something and something is not quite right. She's very jumpy, she's very antsy, and slowly but surely, Shep works his way in. Anson is also involved heavily in this one, which is the love interest from book 1 with Rhodes, and I loved it. I just loved the combination of seeing Shep and Anson's friendship, as well as seeing them helping Thea out massively, and also seeing the town come together as well, this small town, but the family as well that Shep is a part of, and them coming together as siblings to help her out, and, you know, Nora, and all of that lot. Lolly as well, the grandmother, she is a hoot, and I absolutely love her. I gave this one 5 stars. I was crying 80 pages in. I was crying towards the end. I was crying in the middle. There were multiple times where I was crying with this book. It very much so hit me in the feels, and I absolutely loved it. 5 stars. Then I was going to go back to Sky Daddy by Kate Falk, which I started on the plane, and I got to page 230, and I kind of wish that I'd just pushed through and finished this off on the plane, but I was struggling a little bit with concentration, and then did kind of move on to Drowned to physically read something because I was audiobooking this. And then when it came back to trying to pick this back up again on Wednesday, because I wanted to, was it Wednesday when I was thinking of picking this back up? Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was. When I was thinking of picking this back up on Wednesday, I didn't want to. This book is really freaking weird, and I just don't think it's my kind of weird. I think for 230 pages, because I was just listening to it on the plane and I literally had nothing else to do, I just kept going with it, and I kind of on that basis, as you can see, I am, you know, not far off finishing the book. I'm maybe 100 pages. Yeah, like 115 pages or something off finishing the book. I just don't care to finish it. It actually made me kind of uncomfortable. Our main character, who is called Linda, is in love with planes, and the way that she talks about like the fuselages and their big noses, and it's really freaking me out. I didn't like it. It was giving me the ick, and it made me uncomfortable, and it was really freaking me out. And then just a couple of other things that she was doing as well made me a little bit uncomfortable. And it's not even the whole getting off on the plane that was making me uncomfortable. It's how she got to that point that was making me uncomfortable. The situation that she was in with getting to that point that made me uncomfortable. I ended up DNFing this one. This is probably the furthest I've ever got in a book before DNFing. I'm a little bit sad about it. I could just finish it off just for it to be another book that I've finished, but I don't care to finish it. So I did DNF that one. I was starting several different books, to be honest. I got like 21%, maybe about 80 odd pages into Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies by Catherine Mack, but I wasn't in the mood, and that was the point at which I then switched over to The Boyfriend. I kind of wish I hadn't bothered doing that, because I think I would have liked Every Time I Go on Vacation Someone Dies a little bit more, but I just wasn't in the mood, so I never went back to that one. That's a soft DNF. I'm hoping to go back to it at some point, because I do want to read the second one as well, which is No One Was Supposed to Die at This Wedding or something. I feel like that one will be a fun one. However, I did move on to Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, because it's on my TBR anyway for the month of July, but also it was on a 99p Kindle deal, so Who am I to stick my nose up at that? Was it 99p or 199? I can't remember. It was on a daily deal, I think, anyway. So I got it on my Kindle and I decided to listen to this one. And I will say, this is about two authors that essentially come together to write a memoir of a very famous woman who married a very famous singer who kind of like rivaled Elvis back in the day, if you like, and Cosmo. And she is called Margaret. And they end up coming together. Well, our main character, FMC, who is Alice, she goes to meet Margaret one day, and Margaret has a proposal that her and Hayden, where have I got Alex from? Don't know. Hayden, Alex, Nightshade, Alex. Her and Hayden they'll have like a month trial with Margaret. So they will interview her different days. They'll get different days. They'll interview her for a portion of time, get some of her story, write up a proposal, and whichever one she prefers, she might go with. Or she might not go with any of them. However, as it turns out, there's a lot more to this story than what's actually going on. And then a relationship buds between Alice and Hayden. So I really thoroughly enjoyed this. There were so many different things going on with this one, and I absolutely enjoyed it. I'm so glad that I actually allowed a bit of time before picking this up when it immediately came out, or even getting the arc, because I genuinely thought that this would be just a romance, and that is not the case. There is so much more going on. Think the romance is at the core of this story, but it's also not, if that makes any sense, but also think Evelyn Hugo-esque. So, you know, how that story is kind of set up, where there is a woman who is having a conversation with Evelyn and hearing about her life story and wants to write it out. And we're learning about Evelyn's life story as we go along. That kind of thing with Margaret, but there's so much more to it than that. And I loved this. I thought the writing was beautiful. I thought the storytelling was stunning. There was a little bit at the beginning where I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But as we really got into it, I thought the relationship was stunning between Alice and Hayden. The way that they understood each other, the way that they communicated with each other, I absolutely loved it. The way that they could read each other, and even when they were keeping things from the other, actually Hayden didn't do that too much, but when Alice was keeping things from Hayden, like just the way that they conversed with each other, I just loved it. I loved everything about this. It was fantastic, and I'm so glad that I enjoyed this. I'm so glad I went into it not thinking that it was just going to be a romance, because I think I would have been very disappointed that I know a lot of people have been. But because I was like, okay, I think in this one the romance is taking a back seat, and we're along the lines of Evelyn Hugo, because I'd seen other people saying that, I kind of knew what to expect, but it also wasn't that, if that makes sense. So I went into it with lower expectations than what I initially had. Like, I usually have very high expectations with Emily Henry, and sometimes it lets me down. But I really, really enjoyed this one, and I ended up giving it 5 stars. I thoroughly loved this one. Some people might be shocked by that, because I was really worried. I've also seen this described as being like more literary fiction-esque. I don't know if that's actually the case or not, but I really enjoyed this, and I don't read lit fic, so 5 stars for that one. On another Kindle deal, maybe it was another daily deal. I don't know what was going on. It's almost like Kindle knew exactly what it was that I wanted to read in the moment. Till the Cows Come Home was on a Kindle daily deal, so I got it for yesterday for coming home, because this again was going to be a physical read, and although the text in here is massive and it wouldn't have taken me long to get to at all while I was home, I was in the mood for it while I was on holiday, and I didn't want to pay like $11.99 or something stupid for the Kindle deal, for the Kindle edition, but it was on a daily deal again, so 99p I paid for this. Bargain. This is the only thing I managed to finish yesterday. So I did start it yesterday. I also managed to finish it on the plane coming home before I then had my mild panic attack on the plane and had to move, and then did nothing else other than concentrate on trying not to make myself more ill. So I managed to read all of this. These Jeremy Clarkson Diddley Squat books, essentially, if you don't know who Jeremy Clarkson is, he is a TV presenter. He has done the likes of the Grand Tour, he has done Top Gear, he has done Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He's done so many different things, more so well known, I think, for Top Gear and Grand Tour. But he's, like I say, he's also done Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He writes a couple of columns for a couple of papers, things like that. He now owns a farm. I think he got this farm maybe 5 or 6 years ago now, and he is learning the industry of agriculture and farming. And he's also bringing a lot of attention with his TV series on Netflix. He's bringing a lot of attention to UK farming and also the farming industry and agricultural industry as a whole. And I think he's doing a lot for the industry, positively, although some of the councils do not agree with that. If you know, you know. So he's written a handful of books about it, and I read the first one, really enjoyed it. He narrated it himself, but he's not done audiobooks. I've been holding off. I've got like this one and then the following 2, and there's a 5th one coming out later on this year, called Man's Best Friend, which I assume is going to be more surrounding like his dogs, Arya and Sansa. He's a Game of Thrones fan. So this one is Till the Cows Come Home. I loved it. It's not too long at all, but I just think they're super informative. Very funny. He does put his views across on politics a lot, but he's also very like level-headed about it with the farming side of things, and I think it's so interesting. And I just really, really enjoyed this, and it's kind of got me thinking about things in different ways now as well. Like, I normally will go to the supermarket, pick up a pack of chicken that's got the longest date on it and walk away. I'm not looking at where the chickens come from. So I was like, this morning, since I've read this yesterday, this morning when I've been to the supermarket, I was very observant about where my chicken was coming from, and I got a UK pack of chicken instead of like an Australian pack of chicken that might be cheaper or something. Got a UK pack of chicken. I want to support our farmers as much as I possibly can. So yeah, very interesting. Really thoroughly enjoyed this one. 4.5 stars. There were some moments of repetition, but 4.5 stars for this one. Very, very good indeed. So the only other book then that I did start was Tell Me What You Did by, I'll show a picture of it on screen here while I just, oh shit, sort my Kindle out to tell you how far I got into this one. Carter Wilson. This one was a book troop pick earlier on this year, and I really wanted to read it at that point because I heard that it had a podcast element, but I think at the time it was difficult to get the book in the UK. Anyway, it was another deal on another Kindle deal. I don't know what's going on. It's like Kindle can read my mind. Anyway, it was another Kindle deal, and I think I'd seen Gabby post something for Book Troop about the books that they've done this year for the first 6 months of the year so far, and I was like, what haven't I read on there? I haven't read Dark Places, which was the first one by Gillian Flynn, but I do have that one, or Gillian Flynn, I don't know how you pronounce it. I do have that one on my Kindle. I should probably get to it. I have read When the Wolf Comes Home. I have read the next one that's going to be With a Vengeance, July's book. But I can't remember what else was on there off the top of my head. Regardless, I spotted that post and was like, oh, I actually really want to read that book. So downloaded it, got the audiobook. I made it to page 103 yesterday afternoon while we were waiting for our pickup. I kind of wish I'd had the chance, it's like 27% in, kind of wish I'd had the chance to finish this one, to be fair. And my aim was to finish both Till the Cows Come Home and this on the plane, but then I had my panic attack and I just could not bring myself to put my headphones on and listen to an audiobook for the rest of the flight. So I didn't finish this one, unfortunately, but I did get 103 pages into it. I'm very much so enjoying this one so far. I'm not going to explain what it's about because I actually think what I'm going to do is try and finish this in Summerween in video. In my first vlog for Summerween. I'm doing 3 vlogs for Summerween, surprise. So yeah, that one I will be wrapping up in my first vlog of Summerween. I'm going to do it that way around so that it's very close together, because this video is not supposed to go up for another couple of weeks because I've got like a full week of Summerween videos coming up, so it's going to come up the following week, but I'm going to try and get this edited and uploaded for you for Saturday the 5th. So if you're watching this on Saturday the 5th, I nailed it. If you're not, I didn't. It is what it is. But I did have a successful reading week while I was on holiday. I managed to finish 6 books in total, with a DNF very late on as well with that one, and got 27% into a 7th book. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, finished 6 books, DNF'd one, got 27% into another. Oh, actually, I got 21% into another as well. But that one I'm not coming back to anytime soon. So yeah, I think I did pretty well, to be fair, and I'm quite proud of myself. I wasn't expecting to get through as much as I did. And also, the other thing I'm quite proud of is that these 3 are actually on my July TBR. I'll show a picture of it here. My July TBR. So that's exciting. I actually did officially finish Nightshade before June finished. So that will be in my June wrap up. But yeah, so that is what I managed to read whilst on my hollybobs in Egypt. Exciting times. I think I did pretty well, and I'm quite happy with what I managed to get through as well. So yeah, buzzing about that. I hope this video comes out okay. I know I didn't get a lot of footage while I was on holiday. I just, for like the first, was it 3 or 4 days, I was just really struggling to acclimatise to the weather. I was really suffering. And then I just kept forgetting, honestly. I was so enthralled in what I was reading that I just kept forgetting to pick the camera up. And I'm not used to like public filming yet, like speaking in public on the camera. So that was another thing that was slowing me down a little bit. It's not like I was wanting to pick the camera up by the pool or anything. That's something that I'm gonna have to get used to. But yeah, I had a good time. I enjoyed my reading. I did pretty well, actually, although the boyfriend did trip me up and I regret wasting my time on that book a little bit. I've done it now. It is what it is. But otherwise, we had 4.5 or 5-star reads other than Sky Daddy, which was the DNF, which, quite frankly, when I was picking it up, I didn't know whether or not I was going to enjoy it. I am a little bit sad that I didn't get to the Jasada or Death on the Nile, to be honest, but it is what it is. I am quite so a mood reader these days, so I do like to set myself TBRs, but sometimes I don't follow them. So I do apologise for that if you're looking forward to me reading the Jasada or Death on the Nile or Death on the Nile. But at least I tried Sky Daddy, which was the other one that I was like, yeah, these are the 3 books that I'm reading on my holiday. At least I tried with Sky Daddy. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below. Have you read any of these books? Let me know in the comments down below. If you got to the end of this video and you want to leave me a comment, but you don't know what to comment, you can leave me a playing emoji if you want, because I went on trip. And I will see you in whatever comes next. Actually, I will see you in Summerween Vlog 1. I hope you enjoy. Bye for now.